I will now be reading Chapter 6 of the book of Genesis from the King James Version of the Bible. Chapter 6. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair. And they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord God said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he is also flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men which were old men of renown. And God saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was just a man and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with God. And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. And God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all the flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, The end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make thee an ark of gopher wood, rooms shalt thou make in the ark, and shalt pitch it within and without with pitch. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make it. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits. A window thou shalt make in the ark, and in a cubit shalt thou finish it above, and the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof, with the lower, second, and third stories shalt thou make it. And behold, I, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth, to destroy all flesh wherein is the breath of life, from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die. But with thee I will establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons and thy wife and thy sons' wives with thee. And of every living thing of all flesh 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark, to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female, of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind. 2 of every sort shall come unto thee, to keep them alive. And take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be food for thee and for them. Thus did Noah according to all that God commanded him, so did he. Now that I have read chapter 6, here's my thoughts. Okay, time to dissect giants, or at least mention the fact that giants exist. Yeah. Okay, so, in the Bible it says that the sons of God had children with the daughters of man. The sons of God are angels, and the daughters of man are humans, and apparently that made giants. Also, God changes the lifespan of man to 120 years in this chapter, which is about what humans have been known to live to now, or at least close to that, so yeah, no more people living to 900 years anymore, apparently. It is then said that God saw how evil humans had become as well, but Noah was one of the good ones, and by that I mean the only good one, apart from his family. God then decides to wipe the slate clean and flood the world, killing everything and everyone except Noah and his family. So God commands Noah to make an ark out of gopher wood. What is gopher wood? No one really knows, but according to the Jewish Encyclopedia, which is basically an account of like the entirety of Jewish history in one book, it's most likely a reference to cedar wood. That's really all we have. It's probably cedar wood. Some Bibles have tried to translate it into something that we would know, but the King James Version just leaves it as gopher wood. It also has nothing to do with the animal, the gopher, if you're wondering. It is also said that the ark was coated in pitch, and no one has any idea what that was, besides that it was probably something used to waterproof the boat or make it non-susceptible to rot. Past that, no one's entirely sure what pitch is. And finally, the size of the ark. How big was it? What are the dimensions? The conservative estimate is roughly 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet tall. So this thing was absolutely massive. That's a little more than half the size of the Titanic. The cubits are the measurement used in the dimensions of the ark. And cubits aren't an exact science from what I've read, regarding the biblical definition at least. So all we have is estimates. But a group of scientists in 1993 apparently determined that if it were built off the dimensions given in the Bible, it would be absolutely massive and also surprisingly seaworthy. Also, God commands that every animal be on the boat, both male and female, so that's a lot of animals. Sounds ridiculous, but this isn't including fish, bugs are pretty small, and it wouldn't be every breed of animal because breeds are offshoots from, one type of animal, so we would just have wolves, we wouldn't have dogs and all their subsidiaries. It would also make sense that God would be giving Noah the juvenile versions of each animal, which no one talks about, by the way. Whenever you see a picture of Noah in the ark, it's just, elephants and giraffes and horses, and they're all adult size and absolutely massive and would not fit in that ark. Realizing that makes everything make so much more sense because, it would keep the literal population's, actual size down. Noah also probably didn't make pens for the animal. It mentions rooms, but it doesn't mention pens, so it's more likely he would have just kept each sort of type of animal in one big room with each other. And I wouldn't be surprised if God, just didn't make the animals not kill each other while on the ark. I'm sure he can do that. We have no idea how many species of animals existed back then, so I can't really say for certain. The Hebrew translations also say that there will be 7 of each clean animal and 7 of each flying animal as well, apparently. So that adds a lot more. But also probably those would have been used for food or offerings, so their population would have gone down as the days continued. There is a lot of Ark shenanigans, but if every animal of the time was on there, that means it would have been at least very crowded and very miserable for all parties involved. And that is where the Ark chapter ends. It really just is the lead up to the Ark and the explanation of why God decided to Control-Shift-QQ the world. Well, I hope you had fun, and see you tomorrow.